Well, what's up again, guys? Brian here at 3Tier, and I'm here to give you my review on the newest film adaptation based off of Stephen King's work, simply titled The Dark Tower. Now, I'm not going to go into the director because I've given up trying to pronounce his name, but this movie's primary three characters are Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey, and this young actor named Tom Taylor. Now, I know nothing about the books. All I know is that it's based off a series of books from Stephen King, but the basic premise of this film is that you have these two guys called the Gunslinger and the Man in Black, and apparently they're fighting over the protection of this tower. Now, this tower is supposed to be the pillar that holds the world in place and protects it from darkness, and Matthew McConaughey, the Man in Black, is trying to pretty much destroy it by using the minds of children. And as soon as he's almost done completing it, he finds that there's this one special child that probably has enough power to wipe out the tower himself. However, this kid ends up getting into Midworld, if I remember correctly, where he runs into the Gunslinger, and really from that point on, they have to team up in order to stop the tower from being destroyed and to take down the Man in Black. Now, from somebody who knows nothing about the books, nothing about the source material, I can say that I didn't think this movie was that good, but I don't think it's as bad as some people are making it out to be. And there are some good things about it, which I'll say this. The three primary actors do a very, very good job in their part. I thought that this young actor, Tom Taylor, did a really great job and had a lot of range. He was able to jump between multiple different emotions, and he had never at any point felt annoying. I thought that Idris Elba, playing as the Gunslinger, he played it pretty straightforward. I'm not going to say it was his best performance. I'm not saying it was his worst performance, but he played it as straight as you could expect. However, I will say that Matthew McConaughey was probably having the most fun out of all three of them, because he kind of has this performance where he's evil for evil's sake, but trying to be kind of cool about it. He steals every scene that he's in, though they don't really give him too much to do. Where the problem that I felt about this movie is that, for one, this movie is way too short, and because of that, it never has time to really explain anything. This movie easily should have been a good 30 to 40 minutes long, because throughout this film, it does things where it'll bring something up or make mention of it, but they will never go into depth and explain it. Several characters are either talking about events that we never get to see, or they're doing things that is never explained. A key example, without going into too many spoilers, there's this scene where Matthew McConaughey opens this, I guess, this shelf, and there are all these balls, and these balls do different things, but that's never explained what the balls do. I mean, they do stuff, but I don't understand how this works. Another thing that's never really explained is what is the personal issue between the Man in Black and the Gunslinger. Now, from the way the movie projects it, it just seems very, very simple, but you get the feeling that they have more history than their most recent encounter, and I want to know more about it. And there's even elements about the kid, and there's things about him that aren't really explained. I mean, something called The Shining, which I guess is connected to a number of Stephen King's other works, I'm guessing, but that's never really explained. That, in my opinion, is this movie's biggest sin, is that it just never takes the time to explain everything. The fact that it's only about 90 minutes long, this movie is very, very fast-paced, and it never gives you time to breathe. And so when something happens that you're not really sure exactly how that works exactly, the movie never takes the time to explain it. Another thing that I thought was really, really wrong with this film is that the production design does seem kind of cheap. I mean, it's kind of in that very, very fuzzy area where it's like slightly above what you would expect in a TV series, but not quite, you know, big screen motion picture. It's kind of not quite direct to DVD, but maybe slightly above that. It did feel somewhat cheap at times. The action scenes, although they're very, very cool to look at, they're very, very limited, and there are very, very few of them. There's only like 2 main action scenes, and they last like less than 3 or 4 minutes. And though the action itself is good, I would like to see more of them. And even though the Gunslinger himself in these action scenes is kind of cool, really the coolest thing about him is how he reloads. I mean, I mean, I heard another YouTuber compare it to, if you want to really see cool, you know, gun action, watch John Wick. But if you want to see good reloading action, watch this. And I have to agree. Now, if I had to give The Dark Tower a rating, I'm gonna have to give it a standard rating, because it wasn't anything special and it wasn't anything great. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it was just kind of in the middle, so I would have to give it a C. Now, I will give you a warning. If you're someone like me that knows absolutely nothing about this book series, then I think going into this, you might have the same reaction. But if you're someone who is a big fan of the Stephen King work, you're probably gonna be a little bit upset, because I have no idea what they got wrong, but something tells me that they got a lot of this information mixed up and it was never explained, and if they did try to explain it, they did a very, very poor job, so be careful about that. Now, if you like my movie review, feel free to like, comment down below, and please subscribe to keep track of my future movie reviews. And like always, thank you guys for watching, you're awesome, and I will see you next time.